Just chilling with Madison Cawthorn, the youngest patriot the Rhinos tried to silence.
Indeed. You know what? I told somebody one time when he was trying to stop me, I said, you're more powerful than me now, but who will protect your children from me when you're dead?
There we go. That was a beauty.
Nice. Oh, hit. Nice, baby. There we go. Locked in, baby. All right, we'll put that bad boy on safe. So, thanks for coming out to the range with me, man.
Absolutely, man.
I can't think of a better place to have an interview.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The crazy part about you, man, is just the amount of times that you had to stand up and fight against your own party.
Oh.
Just because of the Rhinos.
It was nuts.
It's insane. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
and I think that's the biggest. I feel like that's the biggest problem right now that Trump's dealing with.
Yeah, and you know, when I was in, if everyone was trying to, I do in air quotes, move on from Trump. That was the big party movement right then. They were trying to just say, hey, you know, the era of Trump is over. You know, it was so difficult for us because we had to change all our talking points, and we don't want to go back to that. And so I remember when the party came out with their platform, it was, you know, they were trying to almost like do a new contract with America, but it sucked.
Yeah.
And it was just Rhino garbage. It all had passive citizenships, just everything.
Well, think of like if they drug you through the mud, trying to just pin shit on you that wasn't even true, man, just because you were speaking out against them.
Right.
And that's what we needed. And for you to be the youngest sitting congressman at one point, that's insane.
Yeah, it was wild.
Because
you know, when I won my primary, I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
And Trump had endorsed against me, which I don't blame him. He didn't know who I was, and no 24-year-old ever won. You know, in the modern era. And so when I won that election, you know, I'll never forget when Trump called. We were driving home from the victory party. It's on Bluetooth, and it comes on. It's like, hello, this is John on the white Air Force One switchboard. Can I connect you to the president? I was like, oh, absolutely.
That's insane.
It was like, Madison, you even beat my ass. I can't believe it. And, you know, it was an incredible evening. And just getting to talk to him. And then he invited me to the White House. And then after leaving there, then they kind of gave me an impromptu little tryout for to speak at the RNC. Then after I spoke at the RNC, you know, millions and millions of people watched it, and just my life really changed right after that.
When you stood up?
Oh yeah, that was, well, because I feel like that's what America needed, because you know, everyone was hypothetically or realistically just taking a knee to the radical left, and we had Black Lives Matter going on, we had just, you know, people, you know, the pandemic, people freaking out about COVID, and I remember when Trump said that we all needed to, you know, shut down the country. Yep. And, you know, I took it pretty seriously because, you know, never lived through anything like that. And then after about a week, you know, in my house, when that was kind of coming down, we had like 9 people living in my house at the time because people were just coming in for the campaign. So, you know, a lot of the guys got their fiancés, their girlfriends to come over. So we were having a great time. But then I just remember saying, man, I'm not seeing flatbeds stacked with bodies. Where are all the dead people? Like, what is going on?
A lot of the time, well, and we already all know that hospitals were getting way more money when they died.
You could get shot in the head, but if you had COVID, you still died from COVID. It was nuts. It was nuts. I mean, that's a real life story that actually happened.
A lot of us didn't comply. I know I'm a pure blood.
I'm pure blood all day. Listen, man. Yeah, I didn't have my DNA messed with.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, I just got engaged, so that was exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, literally first date. You know, like probably 4th or 5th question was like, so you know, did you happen to, you know, trying to play it cool? Like, did you get the COVID vax? No, absolutely. And I was like, yep, that's it.
You're the one. That's it.
Done. You know, went like, hey, are you Christian? Do you want kids? Did you get the vaccine? No. Okay, great. That went. You're a winner.
So where'd you guys get engaged at?
We actually got engaged right outside the Coliseum in Rome.
Awesome.
It was awesome. And then the next day we went to the Vatican and did Easter Mass with the Pope.
Wow.
Which was really cool. And I'm a Protestant, so it was really cool for them.
Isn't he from Chicago?
Yeah, he's an American boy. He's an American guy. We got an American Pope. So that's
crazy.
Cool. Yeah.
So it's crazy to me that they used to fill that Coliseum with water, bring in boats.
It's nuts.
Sharks and gators, and like they had like a whole like That was their movies back then. They would fill the Coliseum with different, they would all different stuff. That was really fun.
Yeah, but you know what? That's where a lot of our leaders kind of learned their tactics today.
Yeah.
Bread and circuses, man. You know.
I feel like we went wrong too. If you go over there, like looking at the buildings and shit, it's so beautiful.
We live in boxes now.
What are we doing?
Oh,
What are
it's
we
insane.
doing?
I'm like, why
Architecture.
can we not make the world as pretty as it was?
Right.
Like, I just don't
That's
get
what
it.
I'm saying.
Because we're living in a post-apocalyptic, I feel like, world.
Yeah.
I mean, the shit that they built, we can't build now. It's amazing.
No, I mean, literally, the water inside of Rome is still running off Roman aquifers. Like, it's just insanity. And, you know, it's just, you really realize that the people today who are designing buildings and building your strip malls and that kind of stuff, they hate humanity.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, I want to get as most profit out of
Paycheck.
this.
Money,
I want to get a
paycheck.
profit out of this. I don't want, and I build commercial real estate. I see it all the time.
That's why you come out here, man, and you're like, this is it.
Yeah,
this is
like
what living is.
looking around here, this is
view, bro.
significantly prettier than anything that we are having built in the modern era.
Well, this is, you know, we're talking with the governors because things like this, these farmlands, these grasslands, nature is slowly disappearing down.
Well, wouldn't an AI data center right here
perfect.
just be incredible?
Well, they could
Yeah.
pour the water and
Yeah,
all
we
the
could take
fish.
all the water out, kill all the
Your
cows.
bill goes up about $400, you know?
Yeah.
Your power bill, it'd be a good time,
It's
right?
insanity. And then that's the thing where it's like, have such limited thinking. Like, okay, you need data centers to do this. Cool. Why destroy the earth? Supposed to be stewards of it. Put it in space.
Or how about,
Just
I don't know,
put it in space.
Arizona? There's
Yeah.
nothing but
Yeah,
land
just
out
desert.
there.
Like 1,000%.
Nothing.
And then you
There's
have fiber optic cables and everything.
And
will work
like,
just
what
fine.
made you fall in love with Florida?
Oh man, so you know, I moved down here really to get away from politics. I'll say, because you know, North Carolina is such a purple state, and then I just had a dominant district. Like I wasn't far right enough for my people, and I was saying like, dude, if you guys steal another election, like there's gonna be bloodshed. Like this is insane. And you know, they attacked me, but I was just
Even though you're just speaking the truth.
Oh yeah, I was speaking the
that's-
truth. And then they land blasted me with over $12 million of negative advertising, just bad news press,
remember.
everything. And I was still ahead in the polls by 11 points.
Right.
And so then they change our state constitution and then use that changed state constitution to redraw my congressional district so I get a super liberal city in there.
I've
and so
talked-
I
I've
could have
talked
been
to
like,
them.
yeah, you know, boys can become girls, and I could have gotten reelected, or I could say, no, fuck you. And I did.
I've talked to
And,
a lot
you
of
know,
people
so then
about the
came down
fact
here.
that I feel like you were like the first one that really got the whole, you don't have to be far fucking right. You don't have to be, you know, too far gone. You can be more just normal. Mm-hmm. And you can speak against your own party, but still agree with certain things with your own party. I've spoke to so many people about that with you. Be like, you were the one that kind of really kicked that into gear.
Yeah, it's just like, listen, man, and this is the thing that almost all the everyday guys we meet, you know, think of all these guys down here, all these people, they're all super awesome, just normal guys. And most of them don't want to deal with politics.
Yeah.
And that is like, you know, but they are getting involved because
sure.
we realize that we can either be involved in politics or be ruled by lesser men. And we have been ruled by lesser men for 6, 7, 8 decades, and they've been destroying our country. And I think we're all just starting to say, I've had enough of it.
It's just a repetitive
stop
thing.
prostituting our women. Stop making
fucking OnlyFans, dude.
yeah, stop taking all of
Stop
our
pushing
testosterone
porn,
out of our
stop pushing
boys.
shit in
Stop,
our
you know, this just this
schools.
goy slop or slop that's just going into people nonstop. It's insanity. It really is. So
That changed my life. I stopped eating all that shit. I lost 100 pounds. I stick to the basics. Meat. I literally, I tell you
I'm
all
down
the
about
time,
40 pounds.
yeah,
Literally.
good for you.
I'm got a long way to go.
living like a caveman and not buying the crap in the stores. The fact that they're even allowed to sell the shit in the stores is mind-boggling to me.
Oh, it should be. And well, listen, we did a whole driving tour from Italy all the way to. We went to 4
You ate
countries.
like and nothing bothered you, right?
We were eating. I mean, we'd get 3 entrees a night. We would eat, you know, 2 things of pasta, whatever pasta we want. I had carbonara, I think, in every freaking city I went to. And I mean, you eat this massive thing of pasta. You'd have bread on the side, then we get some kind
Not
of
a
protein.
single pound.
I lost weight. And listen, my gut started feeling so much better. And then, like, our first day back, we landed in South Florida in Fort Lauderdale. And we went to a Greek place that we know and love. We eat there all the time, anytime
20
we're on the
pounds
East
right
Coast.
there.
I ate there, and my stomach felt like crap. And that's just where I'm starting to say is that we have poison in our foods. Like, we literally
That's why
have
we're
poison
like,
in our
I'm
food.
a big fan of RFK Jr.
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
Huge fan.
Oh, listen, he's so totally on the peptide wagon.
Yeah.
He's totally on the testosterone wagon. Like, you know, they're taking the testosterone and stuff. And he just said at a dinner recently something we all know is true, but that like COVID was ethnically targeted to target
Oh, yeah, we were
Caucasians
just
and
talking
blacks.
about that.
Who does it not target though?
Number 1 is Ashkenazi Jews and then Asians, and not just any Asians, but Chinese Asians.
Yeah,
and
course.
so it's just obviously it was developed by them over there,
Yeah, we
and
know.
it doesn't hit Ashkenazi Jews, doesn't hit Asians, and
I got COVID. I was in the hospital for a week. I almost died. Like that getting ready to put me on a ventilator, everything.
They almost took my mom, and they were gonna put her on a vent, and I fought so hard, and I was just like, you put her on that vent, she's gonna die.
Well, yeah,
she's gonna die.
And I remember we had this huge ventilator shortage, and just we were trying to think of ways. Is there anything we can do to like get more ventilators here? But then I started looking at the numbers, and it's like, oh, everyone that goes on a ventilator dies.
I'll say, dude, but I'll say, COVID really made you realize how stupid people are.
Oh
a lot of people
wearing like freaking scuba diving gear to the store, and I'm just like, there's something wrong with these people.
And if I see someone in a mask today, like I think a lot of people enjoyed it because they got to hide their ugly.
Yeah.
And they got to like not be as ugly. But the majority of people, it's just they can say, hey guys, to combat climate change, we all need to go crush our left hand with a hammer.
Which we all know.
They'd be like, yeah, sure, I got to go do that. And I mean, just to like
lie.
have some expert, I use the hardest air quotes I possibly could. Experts are the stupidest people in the world because like everything is theoretical to them. Nothing has real world consequences. I mean, it's just, you can go talk to a drug dealer. They know more about business than your Harvard business professors. It's insanity.
It's the same thing with your doctor.
That's why I listen
Same
to
thing with doctors.
I listen to him instead of listening to a nutritionist.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather shoot myself with a Chinese peptide than trust what our government
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah.
It's a lot of Americans.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
fucking insanity. So I want to ask you something about the kids in the state. Do you see some kind of plan? Do you see some kind of future for these kids that are going to school, knowing that the AI and hopefully none of these data centers are coming?
Do you think they're gonna even have a job?
You think like and I brought this up to the governor-elects, gubernatorial-elects, was the vocational school in this state is lacking. It's a lot smaller than the north, for the areas. Like, I feel like, as a state, we should be pushing these kids for vocation. Like, there's no electricians, there's no plumbers, there's no HVACs, and we need those. And they're not, a lot of these kids, they go to school, they learn stuff that don't, myself, I'll never use this. I have the stuff I learned in school. I would have been better off going with my dad, going to work and learning this
100%.
trade. Like, are we going to try maybe to open that up and fix the school? I feel like the school system is very outdated. It's very old school. Why are we pushing kids for college for jobs that aren't going to fucking exist in 5 years?
Exactly. And our school systems are created, to create factory employees.
Yep.
But robotics and AI is going to make every factory job completely non-existent. And so, I tell people all the time, if I'm talking to younger people, like, if you want to be a millionaire the fastest, go become an HVAC, like learn how to do HVAC, learn how to do electrician, become an electrician, learn how to, learn something that you have to do with your hands, where you literally have to sit there and problem solve on site. And there's just maybe a machine might be able to do it, but transporting that machine will cost so much more than you just walking over there and be like,
I hear people say that like the American dream's dead, and I'm like, no, you just don't want to work hard enough for it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that has to do with when they shipped the jobs in this country overseas. We lost a lot of our work ethic amongst the people. Because I remember even like we talked about testosterone. So when I was in my early 20s, early teens, I remember the men, 50-year-old men my age now. They all look like me. They were all in great shape.
Oh yeah.
Like, what the fuck happened in this country?
Oh,
that
it's
people
insanity.
think that it's okay to look like that and feel like that, and the doctors and the government is like they're all pushing for that. Like it's almost like they want us docile. So do you have a plan? Like, what's your plan? Like, you win in office, you get into Congress. Do you have a roadmap that you're looking to follow? Things that you're looking to do, pushing, bills and things like that?
Yeah. So number one, I think that when it comes to AI, I think we look at it a lot more like a calculator and be like, how can we use this tool to make our humans more effective? Because everything has to be human centric. Like whatever we create needs to make normal human life better. That is just like if we drove down the road 50 miles and knocked on the first door, you don't know that person's name, I don't know that person's name. What our bills need to make their life and their lineage lives significantly better. And so, we need to have a completely new schooling system. Like I just completely destroy, upend, uproot, and then just cast it into 1,000 pieces into the wind. The Federal Department of Education. I was saying that before it was popular. I remember saying they put a homeschooler on education and labor, which the story of why I got an education and labor is because I was supposed to go on foreign affairs, which was what
happened with that?
This is crazy. So I remember I had just gotten elected to Congress, and I was dealing with the steering committee, and literally was doing like a party with the committee that I was about to go on. We were getting our committees the next day. Foreign affairs was welcoming all this stuff. I kind of posted a picture. Everything was great. And then I went and they were giving me a little package with all my material for the different committees. And I got it, and one of them, I had the one that I wanted, Veterans Affairs, because I wanted to help veterans. And then I had another one, and it was Educational Labor, which is a very important committee, but it was not the committee that I've been preparing for. I was like, hey, I think you got me mixed up with somebody else. This is, actually, no, we got a call from an APAC representative. They don't want you on education or foreign affairs. And I'm sitting there.
Hold on.
I'm 24 years old.
Do you take APAC money?
You got to, well, no. Hang on. You got to hear this. You got to hear this. I said, who the hell is APAC? Yeah, and that was I had zero idea. I was like, is this some government agency? Like, who is this? And then they just kind of shrugged the question. And I remember I Googled who APAC was. Like, what does this have to do with this?
Any of it.
I was so confused. And then as time went on, you realize how much of a whole different lobbying groups have on our country.
So you think it's a big problem though?
Oh, it's a
serious problem.
If you can tell members of Congress that, hey, this congressman who is like prepared, gotten ready for it, and is like going to kill it on this committee, that they cannot be on this committee and you are not in our government at all, that's a problem.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't tell me that's not a problem.
No,
that is just, I don't care if it is the plumbers vocational studies, lobby. No lobby should have that much power to be able to dictate what Congress does. That's where you just got, I don't know how you do it, but you've got to take so much money out of politics.
I think, with this election and the next election, voting in the ground roots, right? So we have sites like APAC Tracker. I think these super PACs are destroying the country.
The super PACs as a whole are destroying the country.
Right. So people forget that, like, when this country wanted to go to war, they would have to sell war bonds in order to pay for the wars, and then all of a sudden we print our money.
Yeah, what do they say at the Fed? There's an infinite amount of money at the Federal Reserve. Right. Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry for the harsh language.
In the Fed.
It gets me really mad.
No,
it's in the Fed.
So I think that's where this whole 2A thing comes in, right?
Yeah.
So, like, we see what's going on in the Middle East, we see what's going on in Europe. What we don't see is that going on in America. And I think the major reason why is these. We are the biggest army in the world.
In the world, absolutely.
Sure.
And the hardest
And then
to invade.
there's so many people who will just, people who doom scroll on black
dude,
billing.
it's bad.
They'll be like, listen, you could never stand up to the United States military. Yeah, no one on the planet can stand up to the United States military. But the Vietnamese did. Like, we're not going to go like the British and stand in a straight line and take you guys on.
Off.
Like, literally,
I'll be up in this little spot in the corner that you'll never see me.
This is the thing, and this is the reason. I get questions a lot because on my campaign literature, there's a picture of me, and I think it's in this vest, but like in my normal configuration. I normally have a holster for this pistol, but my brother's using it because he forgot his holster, and so anyway, so it's just in a weird little spot right there. But anyways, I was into my stuff, and I had a lot of people be like, "Oh my gosh, were you a veteran?" I'm like, no. And they're like, well, then why do you have this picture? I'm like, because this is how every single citizen should be able to outfit themselves at any time. Like, like we should be able to. You should have 5. I've got over 50 guys that we train together. We're very well prepared. Like, we can do whatever we need. But then people are like, well, how could you stand up against the federal military? How could you do this? How, you don't have F-18s. You don't have this. Well, like, one, we have F-15s, which are really cool. But beyond that, we fight supply lines and data centers and water sources and all of these things. Like, if the United States of America's populace ever wanted to stop the federal government, it would be so brutal. Every single city would run out of water. The power would shut off all across the country. And sure, like, you might be able to beat
I think
a
you only
big
have to
mob
hit
of them.
3 main power plants to shut off all of it.
Yeah, our power grid needs to be significantly hardened.
Upgraded.
And I mean, I think that we need to have small reactors put around all the places. But again, that's where the Second Amendment comes into play. And again, that has nothing to do with small reactors and nuclear power. But I'm saying the Second Amendment comes into play that we hold the power in this country.
Absolutely.
And we need to remember that we are the royalty in the United States of America. Your house is your castle, and no one gets to dictate what you do. When you have these 3 other agencies saying, oh, well, we actually made a rule on that. I don't care if you made a rule. That's not a law. Law has to go through Congress. Like when the ATF says you can't have bump stocks or you can't have silencers. I'm like, why is that?
That's that law that just where they got rid of that law where they can't pass. What the hell's the name of it? Chevron? I can't think of the name of the law where they can't. I guess unless you're an elected official, you can't have a law. It's a Chevron doctrine, which is basically the ATF that they're making things illegal, but there's no voted in politician making it illegal. So
That's insane.
Well, and I think that's why a lot of
people.
people love you, bro, because you say, I work for you.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
It's not the other way around, and I think that's a big problem in Washington is these guys are like, they've just gone so long unchecked.
Yep.
And they're like, we're not worried about it because I'm not going anywhere.
And then, you know, because it's, again, these people have these massive super PACs that they know if they ever get into a hairy spot, it's like, hey, I've done enough favors for you guys, you will come in and save me at the very end.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's just what people
You think
know
that's
and
what's
believe.
going on with the Epstein list?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
Everybody's being protected because it's all, everybody's involved in this.
Oh yeah, if you go after the people,
I'm bringing you down, I'm bringing you down, and that's why we don't.
It's one giant pack.
Yeah, and it's just, it doesn't, and then there's so, like, the amount of how much Washington as a uniparty will shock you.
Yep.
Now listen, since we started having C-SPAN and cameras put on the House floor, people do a lot less talking to each other on the House floor, but they're still, as soon as you get away from the cameras, everybody's like, okay, so you have 3 of your guys go and vote for this, and I'll have 4 of my guys go and vote for this, and you know, we can sacrifice these. Oh, I've seen it a million times. And listen,
I bet it pisses you off.
it's so annoying because literally I've seen it when we are in command of the House, when they're in the command of the House. You go look at the actual bills that are passed. I'm talking about the omnibus bills, not the messaging bills that don't really get anything done. But the omnibus packages where they pass, a stack of this big of legislation that affects everything. And inside of that, remind you, there is Veterans Affairs assistance that's going to make it better for the VA, and it's going to raise the pay for soldiers. So if you vote against it, you're now going to be destroyed. Like, why did you vote to take money away from veterans? It's insane.
Well, I think that's why a lot of
but
people
also,
are
you're voting to, have, abortion clinics down the road from your house. You're voting to have transgender education inside your stuff, which makes no sense. If you want to push trans ideology on children, you should be tried, prosecuted, and shot.
So why aren't they firing the teachers in Florida that push, or any of these Republican states, and these kids are getting recruited in the fucking schools for sure.
Yeah,
indoctrination. I watched them try to do it to my nephew up north. He was a troubled autistic kid. And he would go down to the guidance counselor's office, and you go down to the guidance counselor's office, and it looks like a unicorn threw up down there.
Yep.
Right. So then the kids with problems, they meet other kids with problems, and then all of a sudden we have our little club, and next thing you know, I go home, I tell my mom, hey, I'm bisexual. Mm-hmm. I'm 12 years old. What the fuck are you talking?
You don't even know what that means.
Like, how is this allowed? There's so many things that are happening,
and they'll get celebrated in school.
Well, and I think this is why a lot of people are upset, because we gave them the House, we gave them the Senate, we got the presidency. And we're still not seeing shit because you got,
And I wanted to see people arrested. That's my biggest thing.
Yes.
I want to see powerful people who are destroying our country, defrauding our country, and stealing the lives of our children in jail. And listen, maybe I might not get them to a death sentence, whatever, but I want them in jail.
Yeah.
That is the mandate that Americans have.
So Trump came out and said there was nothing with the Epstein list, and then we just saw Melania's thing this week.
Saying she didn't know Epstein.
She didn't know Epstein, but she said there's people that should be going to fucking jail, right?
But they got pictures.
Well, she's absolutely right. They should be going to jail. Yeah. And I think that the Epstein files being released really kind of cleared Trump's name in that.
It did.
And whatever the reason is that these people are not being hunted down, maybe I think removing Pam Bondi. I think Pam Bondi's great. I really think she's wonderful, like a wonderful person. Love to have her in my Bible study. But I want people who's going to go slit throats and be willing to stand up and fight demons. And I just don't see her as that warrior.
So maybe the wrong time.
Wrong person for wrong time. It's like, we have Leviathans and dragons to slay right now. Put your dragon slayers in those positions. People who don't care if they get shot with arrows, like Matt Gaetz, for example. Put him in the position to hunt down people. He doesn't give a...
Why do you think Matt Gaetz didn't get the approval? You think the Gaetz thing, do you think here's my theory on the Gaetz thing. I think that Matt Gaetz didn't get the nomination because Matt Gaetz wasn't an AIPAC person.
1,000%. Oh yeah, because you have to go through the Senate.
For sure,
and the
right?
Senate,
I can't. And then literally, he doesn't get the nomination, and then he's got his talk show, and that's all he talks about. Is the bullshit.
Yeah, and it's not just AIPAC. It's like there are so many organizations that use this kind of power, and I think AIPAC is pretty much probably the most prevalent and the one that people notice the most. Because literally, people hire staffers. I remember when I was kind of bucking the system really early on. They brought me into someone in leadership's office really late at night, and she handed me this piece of paper and she said, if you hired one of these people as your chief of staff, we'd know that you're a team player. And I said, what does it mean to be a team player? And it said, we'll help you out with fundraising. Don't worry about your NRCC dues, because you have to pay dues to be on the good committees.
Right.
That's like you're like each committee spot. Some of them cost $1 million, some of them cost $3 million, whatever. And so you're prolific fundraisers, which is why it was ridiculous, because I was one of the best fundraisers in Congress. For me not to get my position was insane. I'm like, I will quadruple my dues, like whatever you want. And they're like, no, AIPAC won't do it. And I'm like, what does that mean? But then as we continue going, I was like, what does it mean to be a team player? and I'm being really respectful. I respected this person who it was. You know, she was a respected person. She had her orders. And so what does it mean to be a team player? Well, we'd help you out with fundraising. We'd waive your NRCC dues. And if there's any really bad press coming out, we'd help to bury it and keep it down. And I was like, okay, thank you very much. And then while I'm rolling out, thank you for your time, ma'am, I just set the piece of paper on a trash can and just rolled out. And then from then on, it was, I just like the next day I got hit with an attack article.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was like, okay. But Charlie Kirk was alive.
Yeah,
and me and Charlie Kirk were boys. And so I could be getting slammed and Charlie would come to my defense, have me on the show, let me go out and talk about it. And then, I remember Rachel Maddow was ripping me apart for something. And then one time, one of her staffers accidentally emailed my comms director.
Oh boy!
Because the subject was Cawthorn something, and so they must have typed in Cawthorn something and accidentally put my comms director on it. And my comms director gets it and said, "Do not invite him on the show. He would put Rachel in a difficult position. He's a good debater." And so I'm like, "You won't even have me on to debate because you're scared I'm going to win. Like you are peddling just lies because I won't have your approved people onto my staff."
I don't think you could beat Charlie in a debate, man. He was one of the best debaters.
Oh, he was incredible.
That's crazy though, that it went down like that.
So you're running for Congress in Florida. You're running to be a congressman. You were in Congress last time. So let me ask you: Did you get invited to Israel for the?
You did not. No. Yeah, I was the lone. Me and Marjorie Taylor Greene were the lone Republicans not to get invited.
She's getting hit pretty hard right now.
Yeah.
She's getting yeah.
So you're running for Florida. So what district are you running for, and what counties and towns for the people that are going to be watching this, like that want to vote for you? Who's voting for you, and why should they go out and vote?
So again, my name is Madison Cawthorn. I'm running for Congress in Florida's 19th congressional district. Now redistricting might happen towards the end of April. We're not April or May. We're not sure what's going to happen with that. But as it stands right now, I am running to represent the majority of Lee and Collier County. So think, Fifth Avenue in Naples down to Marco Island, all the way up to North Fort Myers, Cape Coral, everything in between, Bonita, Estero, all the small towns. And just it's an incredible district. I moved here because Byron invited me to come down when he was running, and he was like, and then I remember he told me, he's like, yeah, it's gonna be at a grocery store, and I was like, Byron, I love you, man. I don't want to fly 4 hours to the grocery store. He's like, dude, I promise you, you're not gonna regret it. And then I show up, there's like 2,000 people at a grocery store. And I was like, okay, and it was Alfie Oaks' place. And I'm like, all right, this place rocks. I love it. And then I rented a jet ski. And I went jet skiing that weekend, and I was like, I feel so not paralyzed because it's all hand controls. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm moving here one day. I remember I told Byers, I said, as soon as I'm done with Congress, I'm moving down here. He's like, yeah, it'll be great.
So
and then
what happened?
And then, why am I in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
So reason I'm in a wheelchair, when I was 18 years old, I was a senior in high school. My buddy and I went on spring break down here in Florida, and we were out near Halifax Hospital near Daytona. It was in the middle of the afternoon. We weren't drinking. We had been flying a glider plane that morning, all FAA regulations. So we were very sober individuals. And, we're two Christian guys, just normal dudes. And we were driving, and I remember I was like, hey, I'll take over for you in a couple exits, wake me up. So I lean back in my seat, fall asleep. And then, for whatever reason, Brad, who's actually was just a contestant on The Bachelor, he just had his name everywhere. Brad's a phenomenal person. Brad's a phenomenal guy. So anybody who's, he's great. He's not politically oriented, so stop attacking him.
He's just another guy.
Yeah, he's just another dude.
Just another guy.
Super great guy. Any girl would be lucky to have him. Anyways, but he thought it'd be better as a group activity. Yeah. And so he fell asleep too. And then,
Sorry.
And then, listen, man, the best way to get over trauma is just joke about it. That's been my belief forever. And listen, a psychologist will tell you that's wrong. Psychologists are lying. They're stupid. They have no idea how to get through trauma. But then anyway, so we crashed into a concrete barricade at about 70 to 80 miles an hour. And
feel like you're alive.
I wake up in a hospital about a few months later, and my diaphragm was ruptured, my lungs had both punctured, severe internal bleeding. I had a severe traumatic brain injury. My kidney had been ripped off. I'd been severely burned alive. It was just I was really ripped up. My pelvis had broken. My spine had a burst fracture at the T12 vertebrae, and then I was paralyzed, and it was hard.
It's amazing to see what you do, and being around you for the last couple
got
of months.
bigger arms than you, bro.
He does.
Listen, I use my arms all day. I bet you this guy's got better quads.
But like, what you've been through and what you've accomplished, and getting all the way to Congress at an early age, and you're how old now?
I'm 30 now.
He's 30 years old, and this happened 12 years ago.
Yep.
And every time I see you, you're in great spirits and you're just as active.
Dude,
as
you just
anybody
love
else.
people.
Cruising down the
that's
road.
the
doing
that's the
90.
one thing, and that's why I remember being so pumped that we were gonna interview him. I was like, he just loves people.
Yeah.
Like he just loves to talk, man. And,
I do,
and he
man.
loves his country so much.
I love good-hearted, great Americans. And listen, there's some individuals I really don't like, but I love people, and I love the people. And it's just, that's the big difference between a lot of politicians and the ones that are really successful, I think, without having bajillions of dollars, is it's the people who are willing to go out and just hang out with normal Americans.
Right.
Yeah.
And most of them just want to be at their, white tablecloth cocktail parties where they give it a few
I wouldn't even
words
call
and
you a
they leave.
politician, bro. I just say,
Well, thank you.
You're a
Yeah,
patriot.
you're not
Yeah,
really.
You're a
I'm a
patriot.
patriot, man.
You are a
Yeah,
patriot.
listen,
You're
the
a
tree of
patriot.
liberty is thirsty, and we're trying to keep it so we don't have to water it. But if it comes to it, we'll be in the right positions for it.
And I'm a huge supporter of Madison's. Everybody, if you know me, Madison's the fucking guy. I wish I could vote for him. He's not even in my district.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Eventually, I would like to vote for you for some bigger office because I totally would
When
support
you get into
when
office. When you get into office.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this was a great idea. Your brother set this up, and we wanted to interview you. We were going to do it during the Fishback, but this is
This is beautiful.
fucking
Man.
amazing.
This is
right?
beautiful.
And we
I
get
love
to
it.
shoot guns.
They were
Yeah,
shooting guns.
that's
I'm over
right,
here
man.
hitting ding.
You can't do anything better.
You have anything else you want to
No,
ask him?
man. That was awesome.
Well, guys,
I
thank you so much.
appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
And
yeah, thanks, man.
I'm going to blast you as much as you can. Let's
All
go,
right,
Lee
brother.
County.
Let's go, guys.
This is your guy right
Yeah.
here.
I won't let you down.
If you
Promise.
guys want things to change,
He's the guy.
Madison's
He's
thing.
the guy.
Thanks, guys.
So, Madison, for the people at home, who is that?
This is my fiance, Alicia, super engaged. She said yes. I'm so excited. We did it in Rome outside the Colosseum, and she is just the best. It's
For sure
literally
she
the best.
is. All right,
Anyways,
let's shoot some
and she's an
guns.
assassin.
Let's
it's,
go.
It's really pretty great. Take the shot whenever you want. Yeah!
Let's go.
100
Good shot.
yards! First shot, baby! Don't
go.
mess with the Cawthorn household. Run it. Send some more down range.
Yeah, let's go.
You got that, babe. Hit.
You got it again.
Hit. Oh! All right, so what we got going on here is a brother-on-brother competition. We're shooting steel at 100 yards. And to make it fair, since River's got a new rifle, I'm going to be shooting a pistol. All right, River, you want to take us off?
So what's that magazine you got there, Madison?
Well,
Where'd
let me
get that
tell you.
Cool-ass magazine.
So this is a beautiful mag that we got from the Patriot Gear official store where Ant, the one and only conservative Ant, sells us. And listen, it's got kind of a space thing going on there because he's a big believer in the moon landing. And so, but anyways, it's amazing. If you guys want some of these amazing mags, really kind of show up. A lot of them are really patriotic. Some of them honor different presidents. Some are like for MK2 Ultra. This one's, obviously something about space. But they're incredible, and you can get them at official Patriot Gear store in Cape Coral. It's amazing. You can stop by. You'll definitely see Ant there. See, all the people that are around him. There's lots of awesome guys around there. But let's see how these things
Let's see how it
perform.
shoots.
Give me 1 second. We'll put some ear pro on. We got this on safe. Let's see what we can do. Well, it makes you shoot 33% better. So go to Patriot Gear store, the official Patriot Gear store in Cape Coral. See our boy Ant. It's really the best. You don't even have to have a magazine in, and it can still shoot.